Hello, welcome to the first episode of Quitting YouTube. I'm Brett Ball. I used to be a YouTuber. And in this series, I guess we'll be talking about what it's like to have quit YouTube, to have never made it. And it's a cool chance to get together with some old YouTube friends and talk about what it was like back in the good old days. And, I've got my friend Sheridon with us today, and we're going to talk about all things YouTube from back in the day. Sheridon, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being the first ever guest.
I feel honored.
So I guess a good place to start, mate, is if you want to talk about what was your screen name on YouTube again? Was it Says Rules?
Yes, yeah. It was says rules. A lot of people actually thought that it was sex rules. People would like type that in. I don't know. I know.
One brand.
Because and it was when I was a kid. I used to do all sorts of like dumb, filthy humor, and so yeah, I wouldn't put it past me. But it was a typo. It was. I think when you were like in year 9, everyone was like, "Oh, Sheridan rules and Sheridan's cool," and things like that. That's what my YouTube name was supposed to be because it was originally like Sherry rules or something like that. And then I forgot my password, and then I typed in. I was supposed to type in Shez rules because I thought I was cool. And
Nice.
yeah. And
Wait, so you thought you were cool, but you're saying you weren't actually. That's so weird with the story you've just told us.
you know what? I still think past Sheridan was a pretty chill guy, but no. So I made that. I meant to type in like Shez rules, but like again missed out the age, and I hated the name so much. In fact, I still hate the name, and that's part of the reason why I don't do it anymore. It's dumb.
So I used to get a bit confused because you had I think there was one point where you had two Facebook accounts, two Twitter accounts. One was Says Rules, one was one was another one. And I think you had two YouTube channels at one point, and I could never tell which was your main accounts and which wasn't. It was very confusing. Anyway, should we talk about the kind of content you used to make before we talk about the fact that we both quit at some point?
Should we not? Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Because there was a bit of a balance with your stuff, right? There was some sort of like, I always likened you to Mitchell Davis, like that sort of fun, quirky vlog style, but also like there was some short films in there, right?
Yeah, so my YouTube channel actually started because my friend Adam and I used to make videos and like movies and dumb stuff all the time. And one day my friend Georgie says to me, "Oh, why don't you put it on this new website, YouTube, so that you can, watch it from anywhere?" And I was like, "What? That sounds cool." So we'd film the videos, make them at Adam's house, upload them at his house, and then I'd go back to mine and then watch them. And that for me was the cool thing. And so yeah, it was a combination of making these dumb like skits and movies and stuff that had no plot. And then yeah, I guess I was quite heavily.
Oh, we've lost Sheridan. This is a good start. Sheridan, hopefully you can rejoin in a moment. Just message you. So Sheridan and I met at the Reading gathering, which was a group of people who came together there was this live event where people would sing music or do sort of on stage what they'd do on YouTube. And I think Sheridan and I had interacted a few times online before that, but we met in person for the first time there. And we just got on like a house on fire. It was probably the most I'd sort of clicked with somebody from the UK YouTube community, at least. And so we lost touch for a while, and then back in back in June, I think it was, we just randomly had a phone call and caught up, and it was like we were back in Reading. Like we just had all these jokes, and it was totally like it was like back in like 2014, 2000, no, before that, probably like 2012, 2011, when we had this gathering. And that was pretty much what stemmed the idea for this podcast series, chat, interview, whatever you want to call it. I thought, well, I lost touch with Sheridon for a while, and this was a great chance for us to catch up and talk about all the things that we had in common. Because for a lot of friends that I made on YouTube, that was the main thing that we had in common. We had video making in common, and that was about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was the main glue that held us together as friends or whatever. And there were other things in and around it, but for the most part, that was the common thread we had. And now that's gone. Now that I don't make YouTube videos anymore, a lot of these people don't either. It's hard to find a thread to keep a conversation going or whatever. So I thought this podcast, this series of reconnecting with these friends, we can talk about those things that we had in common, those journeys that we went on together. So hopefully Sheridon has sorted out his technical problems, and we can carry on that catch up. And then in weeks to come, hoping to do this every Monday, I'll be able to reconnect with other old YouTube friends and talk about similar things. Sheridon, I thought I'd offended you by talking about your old YouTube content.
So I just got really nervous. I'm here with the Brett Ball.
Well, that's also a very, like, it's such an embarrassing name, right? But Brett Ball was taken, and I was like, well, that was my email address, that was my MSN. You know, everyone has those embarrassing like email addresses when they're a kid, and I just didn't have that. I was always Brett Ball, and so when it was taken, I just got stuck and had no idea what to do. And then everyone, exactly like you did then, everyone was like, "Oh, it's the Brett Ball." He thinks
the Brett Ball, the Brett Ball official.
I mean, that would have been worse. There's a few people, isn't there, who that was the screen name they went for, especially in 2008.
Man, it could have been even worse, and you could have called it Brett Ball TV.
Could have done. I could have done. That's the weird thing, right? Like, YouTube wasn't a big thing back in like 2006, 7, 8 when we started. So like the fact that people were calling themselves official or TV, like it wasn't really a platform where you needed an official. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But no, and the whole like TV thing, I don't know. I kind of like that. I always thought that like YouTube was, I guess it really was everyone's first opportunity to be on like a TV equivalent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So people put like TV in their usernames. I was like, okay, cool. This is pretty professional. But
yeah, and like back then as well, I guess the slogan for YouTube was broadcast yourself, right? So that's what they were going for. They were going for teenagers in their bedrooms equivalent of being on TV. And for a while, I'd say they smashed it. Like that's the vibe I got from the people that, at least from when we started in like 2007, 2008, that felt like it was what people were going for, right? Broadcasting themselves, just connecting with this online community.
Yeah, and the thing that I liked about it was there wasn't a budget. You know, there wasn't a studio. There were no lights and film magic, and it was just people posting dumb stuff and having fun. And then I think around, was it like, must have been in 2013, I think, that it started to become more corporate and more like high end, and I don't know.
Yeah, like the money seeped into it, and it had been, there was a weird tone with YouTube, wasn't there? Like going through that transition phase, because I remember there was like a taboo on doing like brand deals, right? You know, when you'd get called like a sellout for literally anything that could get you money whatsoever. And now it's like the other thing, that's what grips everyone. They're like, oh, you can just make videos in your bedroom and make £1 million in a year. Yeah. And it's like, it's been this weird shift where everything people hated has become the big selling point.
Yeah. And because I think there was a point, and it must have been around 2010, like you say, where some people were doing sponsored content, and they'd say, you know, in this video you're sponsored by such and such, and people were like, I'm unsubscribing. You've been sold out. And now it's just it's everywhere. People are doing sponsored deals, and also the fact that you've got to sit through like 2 non-skippable adverts before the video and like 6 throughout the video as well. I don't know, man. That just
We sound like the grumpy grandparents right now of YouTube, don't we?
I guess we
Honestly.
are.
Like it's like
Um,
don't get me wrong, it's a free to use platform, right? There's compromises for that, but
yeah,
at the same time, it's lost that community, that low budget, tight knit feel. I feel like was the big selling point for me back then.
yeah.
Um, which I guess we can sort of skip from that feeling then towards the end. Like, so I know you've recently started your van channel with your like sort of travel stuff and your van renovation, but the stuff that you used to make, what was it that made you stop?
Oh, okay. So back when, like I said, when I first started, it was Adam and I making dumb movies and putting them online, and then I think Adam definitely suffered with some sort of anxiety where there'd be like periods of months where he just wouldn't come out. And I still wanted to make videos, and that's when I started sitting in front of the camera and doing vlogs and stuff like that. And I think first thing I ever did was this. I cringe now thinking about it. It was called the Sherry Show, and that's how my vlog started to evolve. But I think the real turning point for me was the fact that in the summer of 2012, I took a job in South Africa working as a camp counselor for a summer camp, and I think you know the story where the camp actually held me hostage.
Yeah, but
And
tell it anyway because it's a good one.
okay, so yeah, so I went there in 2011. My mom was like, Sheridan, YouTube's not a job. You can't make money from YouTube. You need a real job. And I was like, but do I? I'm only 18. And anyway, so she sent me to South Africa to go work on a chicken farm. And while I was there, I was on the beach one day and I met this woman who, we got talking. She was like, oh, well, would you like to come and work for us? I took up the job, loved it, went back the next year. She said to me, she's like, look, we'll pay for your flights, we'll pay for your food, your accommodation. All we want is 5 videos from you in a month. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. So I got there and she said to me, well, look, do you want to give me your passport and we'll keep it safe, so it doesn't get stolen. And I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds fine. And in the month that I was there, I managed to make 4 videos for her. And the reason being was that for like 2 weeks straight, it was just raining nonstop in South Africa. So out of the 2 weeks that it wasn't raining, I managed to pump out 4 videos, but she wanted like a half an hour long documentary. And I didn't get to complete that. So when it came time to fly back, she said to me, no, you're not leaving. You're not getting your passport back until you either pay me back for the full cost of the flights or give me the video that you promised. And I said, well, hang on a second. That doesn't make sense. Surely you tell me how much the flights cost. We divide that by 5, and then I owe you 1/5 of that because you've got the full video. She's like, no, that's not how it works. I was like, okay. And so I had no choice. I had to miss my flight. And so I was stuck in this summer camp in the middle of nowhere in South Africa with no internet access, no nothing. And this is like I say, 2012, where the most up-to-date phone I think was the iPhone 4. And
Right.
I had like an iPhone 3G. So I couldn't like access the internet anywhere because South Africa is pretty behind. And so yeah, I was there for 4 months. And while I was there, I stopped making videos. I couldn't really make videos. And so when I came back to the UK and started making videos again, people had stopped watching. And
Mhm.
I think there was a part of me that tried to get back into it, try and get the ball rolling again. And it just didn't work. But I did it, I did it for fun. And then there came a point where I was like, I'm actually not finding this so fun anymore. Don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I get that. I think a lot of people, even if they've gone back to it since, a lot of like YouTubers went through that phase. Like I know I probably kept making videos at least a couple of years after I stopped finding it fun. Like,
yeah.
did you ever feel like you lost yourself and that side of it and started like, I don't know, chasing the numbers, or did you ever feel like you fell with that side of it or not really?
100%, dude, 100%. And I don't know if you got this as well, but I found, and I really hated myself for this, but I actually found that when I hit the like 5,000 mark, I started to get really full of myself. I don't
Right.
know. Did you have that? Is that just me? Because I got to a point where I was like, well, I've got 5,000 subscribers, and I don't know. I felt I just became so out of touch with everything, and I didn't like who I became, man. I really didn't like who I became. I think I stopped being humble. I stopped really seeing my, subscribers as subscribers, and just started seeing them as numbers and views and things like that. And there was a point where I thought, hang on,
It's not what you got in it for.
it's not, no, no, and it's so easy to get caught up in it because, like I said, you start making videos for fun, and then 5 subscribers turns into 100, and you start. And this was back in the days where you could leave video replies, like
Oh
uh,
yeah.
that was so good because you'd make a video and you'd have a YouTube friend in America who would make a video and leave it as a video response. And then it would just be like you guys making these dumb videos across the world that all of your subscribers were like kind of in on the joke. And
Hmm.
then YouTube took that away, and it was just more about like the spotlight was solely on you. And if you made a video and your friend made a video, like no one really got it. So it just became,
It wasn't that cohesion, right?
there was no cohesion, absolutely. And I think it just kind of separated everyone in this weird way that was so easy to make everything about yourself. And
Hmm.
and then so yeah, then I'd make videos, and I'd at the start, you'd get like 100 views, and I'd rush downstairs, mom, I got 100 views. And then it came to a point where I'd like get 1,000 views within an hour. And then if I got 800 views in an hour, I'd feel really depressed about it. And
Right.
and I don't know, people would comment, people would, yeah, really nice things and say like, oh, thank you for posting this video, it made my day. And there's a part of me that was like, okay, but like, and I hated that. I hated that I
Yeah.
didn't. Do you know what
You,
I mean? Do I sound like a butthole for saying this?
well,
Because
I mean, no more so than usual, but no, like I don't know that it was exactly the same for me, but I feel like I went through like a similar-ish journey. Like I would definitely have that when like usually you'd hit that, when it would freeze at 301 views. It
oh
was like
yeah,
if I hadn't frozen at 301 views in as quick amount of time as like previously, I'd be like, oh
mm,
well, why is this shit? What's wrong with it? And then I went through that phase that I think everyone on the platform went through, where they were like, YouTube isn't publishing my videos, and it's like, it is. It's probably just not grabbing people's attention. Like,
yeah,
shut the fuck up. Um, but yeah, I totally like chased the numbers, and I had this sort of like, I had this moment where I basically got called out on it by somebody, and they were like, "You realize all of your popular videos that like do well have like something seductive in the title or the thumbnail. Like, you're just using like sleazy marketing techniques." And
hmm
it's pretty much bang on, to be fair. Like, I'd look for like that. That's what would get me that hook. Do you know what I mean? And then if I posted something that didn't have that hook, it wouldn't perform as well. And there was sort of like this realization where I wasn't being very authentic, and then I was still chasing the numbers but trying to do it more authentically, and it became this like clash with myself almost, if that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. Do you feel like seeing? I know we had a lot of mutual friends back in the day. Seeing where they have got now, having continued when we stopped, do you somewhat wish you'd carried on and were now at their level of success or whatever, or are you quite happy you got out when you got out?
You know what? I'm actually really happy with how things turned out. There is a part of me that kind of feels like, what if?
Hmm.
What if I carried on? What if I didn't go to South Africa, and what if I didn't, break that cycle of making a video every week? And can we mention names specifically? I think we can,
I
right?
guess so. I'm not offended by you mentioning people's names.
Okay. So, so there was a point where, like, I mean, we had mutual friends. We had people like Dodie, right? And Lucy Moon, and Alfie Days, and Marcus Butler, and these were all friends of ours, people who we'd made videos with, people who we'd met in person, and we had each other's phone numbers and things like that. And then when they started to get bigger, I kind of thought that, well, this is while I was still doing the YouTube. I was like, did they ever use me to try and get famous? And then I realized that I was thinking this about my own friends. And I thought, I hate this. I hate this. Got to get out. And so I'm, in that respect, I am glad that I did get out when I did. But there's always that part of me that thinks, well, if I ever did carry on, could there have been a chance where, I could have had like a 5-bedroom house, paid off my mortgage and things like that. Had a waxwork model in Madame Tussauds, for example. But I don't know. I mean, and watching my videos back, I was thinking, how the hell did anyone watch this and find it funny? Yeah.
That's a wonderful segue, Sheridan, because speaking of watching your videos, we made a couple together, actually, didn't we? And this was actually, I'm going to show one in a minute. And this was actually one of the last things that I think I ever filmed before I stopped, like, in the main phase of creating. Like we've said, we've both made on and off attempts to fill that creative void and get back into it, and it's not really worked. But this, for the main segment of creating stuff, this was towards the end. And before we jump into the actual video, when you dropped off, when your phone ran out of battery, I was talking about how I felt like we just like clicked more than maybe anyone in at least the UK community did with me before, right? I feel like when we met in person, we just got on and it was just hilarious. It was like hanging out with a friend I'd had for years, right? And these outtakes show it. Did you have something to say before I show it?
I was going to say, I remember the exact moment we met, where we were staying at it was like the Premier Inn in Northampton. And I walked into the hotel room and you were kind of like lounging on this bed with like, I think you had like a whole backpack full of energy drinks.
I mean, probably. It does sound like me. Yeah, I think I got a train through the night or something. Something
crazy. And like, as soon as we met, I don't know, it was because usually when you meet someone that you've been talking to online, there's always like a little bit of awkwardness. But I think when you and I met, it was just, we were just bouncing off each other, not in a sexy way, but it was still, I don't know. And I've, kind of sexy. And then, from then on, I think it's just been awesome, man.
Yeah, cool. So we'll jump into it, and then we've got our friend Gray has just put a solid point about that sort of friends versus networking, which I think it would be really cool to touch on after we show these clips. So let's jump into the outtakes.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Sheridan.
We're not evenly framed. It's not fair. I don't like my screen position.
Hi, my name is Sheridan.
Never let you go.
Hi, my name is Sheridan.
Hello, I'm Brett.
And today we are going to do the Whisper Challenge. What do you think about now?
Hello, I'm Brett.
Hi, my name is Sheridan.
I'm Brett.
And today we're going to do the Whisper Challenge, where basically what it is one of us, we're going to take it in turns to wear headphones. So was that still connected to your phone?
Yeah. Right.
Alright. Tip of the tongue, teeth the lip. You sing and I'll harmonise with you.
Okay. No! You mixed up harmony with screamo?
No.
It's okay, well. Sheridan has a terrible beard. A terrible beard. I thought you were harmonising.
Harmonising, not saying harmful things to each other.
I made that point to you before, didn't I? Like, said you had a terrible beard, and like 6 years later, look at this.
You know what? It's not bad. You got that sexy Pirates of the Caribbean Orlando Bloom thing going on.
That's what I was going for. But I got the actual video that those were the outtakes from. So let's jump in and watch that for a few minutes, shall we?
The whole thing?
Most of it, because there's an upload limit to this platform, but most of it.
Okay, cool.
I'm a little girl.
We can't handle the truth.
Your daughter skipped school. You have a long tooth. You asked.
Come on.
You can't hear the truth?
You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth!
Yes!
Yes! Watch out for snakes.
Watch out for elves. Watch out for snakes.
Watch out for snakes.
Watch out for snakes.
Yeah.
Panda bears wipe saliva on their bums.
Was it the rain that Spain Force made on the plane?
Not even close.
The bad bear claps his humps.
Okay, not far off. Panda bears.
Panda bears
Yeah. Wipe saliva.
will make love. What? I'm so lost. Start again.
Saliva.
Saliva
Yeah. On their bums.
on their bumps.
On their bums.
On their bums. Panda bears wipe saliva on their bums. You are tearing me apart, Lisa. You're not even listening.
Go again.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa.
You are taking apart Lizzie. You are taking apart Lisa.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa.
You are tearing me apart, Lizzie.
No, you are tearing me apart, Lisa.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Yeah.
Sorry. Am I interrupting?
Play the trumpet.
Ashley Tisdale is my soulmate.
The rain in Spain. Is it that one again?
I'm never doing that one. Ashley Tisdale is my soulmate.
As a sister of the cloth.
Ashley Tisdale.
I want to look at your mouth, but it just feels too romantic.
Ashley Tisdale.
As a slave.
Ashley Tisdale.
Ashley Tisdale.
Yeah. Is my soulmate.
It's my soul cat. Soul animal. Soulmate.
Yes.
Ashley Tisdale is your soulmate. First time. My son is a cold-hearted gangster.
My skin is crawling with bacteria.
My son is a cold-hearted gangster.
My second cousin is my love. Whatever you're into, dude.
My son is a cold-hearted gangster and I need a hug.
My stomach. My skin. Foreskin. My set.
My son
My son.
is a cold-hearted gangster.
My son lives at the center.
Cold-hearted gangster.
My son is a cold-blooded gangster.
Cold-hearted.
Cold-hearted gangster.
And I need a hug.
And I slept with her.
My son is a cold-hearted gangster.
My son is a cold-hearted gangster.
And I need a hug.
And I slept with her.
No, if it was incorrect the first time, it's still going to be incorrect.
My son is a cold-hearted gangster.
And I need a hug.
Ice cold. I take it that was wrong.
I'm gonna pee myself. Oh, I'm gonna pee.
Don't piss yourself in my room.
You heard that, alright?
My son is a cold-hearted gangster.
And I need a hug.
And I'm getting high.
And I
And I
need
a hate
a
hope.
A hug.
I am.
A hug.
And I want a hug.
Need
A hug.
Yes.
My son is a cold-hearted gangster and I need a hug.
Yeah.
A promise between friends means never having to give a reason.
A promise between friends made in the pool.
I want to know what that promise is. Promise between friends
A promise between friends
means never.
means nothing.
Means never.
Will never. A promise between friends will never be the truth. Ebola
Is a facade.
in the stars.
No, Ebola is a facade. You probably don't know.
Ebola is for starters.
No, you don't know what this word means. You've never heard it before.
Ebola is a paternal.
No, is a facade.
Is a paternal.
No, facade.
Maternal. I don't think you're probably not even saying a real word.
It's real. You're just an idiot. Ebola is a facade.
Ebola is a facade.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Everyone just has the flu.
Ebola is a facade. It's just the flu.
Close enough.
I'm gonna f him up right now. I'm gonna do it in an accent. You like to hire a bicycle?
Would you like to hire my bedroom? Would you like to hire Bertie? Would you like to hire my bathroom?
Bicycle.
Bridal suite.
Bicycle.
My bum.
Bicycle.
My dad.
My bicycle.
Birthday suit.
My bicycle.
My python.
Would you like to hire my bicycle?
Would you like to hire my
Bicycle.
bicycle?
Yes!
Yes!
Yeah. Hi, my name's Brad Chadson.
And I'm Chad Bradson.
Thanks for watching our video.
It's so totally sweet, dude.
Anyway, how do you feel about doing some friggin' flip kicks and ollies and shit?
Dude, I'm gonna hang 10 so hard.
Hang f***ing 20.
Hang like 1,000.
Just want to say, like, the Ebola thing, people are saying that right now about COVID. How on another level?
The rain in Spain.
Yes, nailed it. Perfect.
Yeah, man. Do you remember
so-
when Ebola was a thing? Oh my god, those are the good old days.
The good old days. Not like COVID, which affects the West.
I remember Zika virus. We all thought we were going to get Zika virus.
No idea what that is.
Not what, dude? In like 2014, Zika virus was the big thing. It was if you look up, I mean, don't look up Zika baby, but Zika virus, ZIKA.
Okay. I feel like we should move on.
Okay.
But that's what like. So that was. I don't know about you. Like I had a grin on my face the whole way back through watching that again. Like I found it so. It was so fun to film as well, right?
Yeah, I dribbled on myself watching that.
Did you
That was
actually?
but yeah, dude, there were so many parts when you were like, "This is a real word. You're just an idiot." Oh man, that was so funny.
Sorry, mate. I didn't mean to make you feel bad.
No, I
Um,
didn't feel bad. No, I love that we can say that sort of stuff to each other. You know, it's
hmm,
not many people have
like
that kind of
a
friendship.
different level of connection, right?
Yeah, you fucking idiot.
So funny you should say that. Like that essentially was near the end of when I was like making stuff. Like while we filmed that, I was in such a bad anxiety and hole in that time. Like not
Right.
long, I think, before or after. Like I didn't leave my room for a week. I stocked up on food and just didn't leave that bedroom for a week, apart from obviously to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like which was a big part of why I stopped making videos, along with a number of other things. Like I didn't like who I was becoming. I chased the numbers. I didn't find it authentic. Like for a while before that, I was just like, well, Alfie and Marcus are making videos about One Direction, so that's what I need to do to get the views. And it was like that was so like I just lost myself like number chasing. Anyway, so Gray has look at this little feature here.
Dude, that's so
Can
cool.
you see that?
That aspect of friends versus networking. Friendly people is always what? Working
So,
friendly.
like what we were saying before about like, are they friends? Are they just using me to get bigger? Like, can you sort of network and still be friends as well? Is it inherently like manipulative? It's such a weird balance to strike, right?
Great question, Grace. And Gray, sorry. Thank you for asking it. It is a
You're
it is a
so
difficult.
insincere.
Huh? No,
You
what are you
sound
talking
so
about?
insincere.
You know, I actually get that a lot, and it's difficult because I work in a financial institution, and people will ask me questions, and I'll answer sincerely, and I just have a naturally sarcastic tone of voice. So people always like, I'll give them the honest answer, and they go, "Right, it's not that, is it?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is."
Mate, I
But
get
no,
that.
good.
Danny tells me off all the time for being sarcastic, even when I'm not. Like she really goes in on me. She's like, "Can you just be serious for a minute?" I was like, "This, I'm legit, but like I can't even say that word, but legitimately trying to be nice and pay you a compliment, and she just thinks I'm taking the piss."
Yeah, dude, it's a curse. But game with Gray, I think it is. I don't know. It's hard. You can't answer that question with a definitive yes or a no, because there are some people who will make friends with you and they will try and use you to get an extra rung up the ladder. And then when you think that, oh great, I'm friends with this person, let's hang out. All of a sudden they're difficult to contact. They're
Yeah,
always busy, and then you see them doing collaborations with the next big person, and then
yeah.
the next
I
big
feel like
person.
between us, we won't, but between us, I'm sure we could name some names. Like we're probably thinking of specific people with that, right?
Are you thinking about, hey, what's up, guys? That guy.
So I was thinking about the fact that I suppose my angle on this is that since I have stopped making videos, if ever I venture to areas where I know people live, they no longer want to hang out. And it's like, well, do we not have that in common anymore? Did we only hang out because we had that in common? Were we never friends? Have we just drifted apart because it's been years, which is totally fair? Like, doesn't mean they were using you or manipulating you or whatever. Or were you a commodity at that point and no longer sort of have that value, you know? And it's such a battle up here as well, right? It's not just other people. Like you end up fighting yourself. Like, was I only valuable to people because of the audience I might have brought to them?
Sure, definitely. But on the flip side of that, I think there are people who you will meet, doing YouTube or doing whatever, who do become lifelong friends. And you make videos together and you'll swap subscribers, and that's just purely part and parcel of your honest friendship. And I think the friendship that you and I had, the videos that we did together, I've got to say, those were the videos in the time of my life where I was focused so much on comments and views and things like that. Those were the videos that I actually didn't care about how many people liked it or how many people didn't like it, or how many views it got. Because those videos that I did with you, dude, I've got to say, they took me back to that feeling that I had when I first started YouTube. It was that fun, dumb, just two friends doing dumb stuff and making each other laugh, and then you put it online so that we can watch later. And I think that would be my advice to anyone starting out is, and it's really hard, but don't make videos to pander to what people want to watch. Make videos for your best friend. Make videos that you and your best friend want to watch.
100%.
And I gotta say, man, when we did those videos, that's exactly what it was. It was just Brad Chadson and Chad Bradson hanging out, having some
taking the world by storm.
Yeah, this summer.
100%.
Yeah, two unlikely heroes.
Like that's. I mean, they're the only videos that are still live on my channel, because they're the only ones that I can bear to watch now are like the ones with you and a few collaborations with like other friends. It's like, because we did that on your channel, the Whisper challenge, and then we did the wet theme song challenge. Do you remember that, where we would sing TV theme songs with a mouthful of water? I haven't got that ready to show now, but that was hilarious as well. I had so much fun with that. But I guess that's largely why we stopped. If I'm misunderstanding you or misrepresenting you, let me know. But because that feeling that we had making things like that wasn't common enough across all the other stuff we made, largely in part because of us and because of the platform and a number of external factors, I'm sure, as well. But yeah, dude, it's so weird, isn't it? Like, what a big part of, it was certainly a big part of my life. Like, it felt like it was there through my coming of age. Like, I was this quiet kid when I started, and then I became far more confident and made stuff that I enjoyed and had all these worldly experiences I wouldn't otherwise have had. Like, I don't know, it was a big deal, man. It was a big transitional part of my life, and I'm so glad we went through it, but I'm also glad I got out when I did.
I've got to say, man, there was a part of your YouTube career where, and I remember this really well, where you were given like this travel opportunity, and the only condition was you had to vlog the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was so cool.
Mate.
The vlogs that you made coming out of that, the content that you were making, I think that was, dude, that was like that for me. If I was going to say like any highlight of the Brett Ball experience, was watching those vlogs that you made on that holiday. And
mate, I appreciate that.
There's I mean, I did also like the how different animals have sex thing that you did.
Mate, that was peak what I didn't like about it, right? It was like they got mad views and I fucking hated them so much, and they like one of them hit over 1 million views and like paid out over $1,000 in AdSense, right? So I was like, make a series around this. This is where the numbers are. But it was people stumbling across it because it was fucking creepy. It was not an authentic audience building thing. And like, I totally lost myself in those numbers. Like that, I feel like that was the beginning of the end for me. But the travel was peak, and it sucks because my peak was 19. Like, can you imagine feeling like that at 19? Like, this is your peak and it's all going to be downhill from here.
Yeah. But I do have like a question, because I feel like a lot of this has been you asking me questions, but I want to ask you questions if that's okay.
Yeah.
What was your favorite video that you've made, and what was your least favorite? And tell me a little bit about the stories behind those videos.
Okay. So outside of making stuff with other people, because they will always be my favorites just because it was a much more fun recording experience, and I feel like that comes across on camera. So outside of collaborating with people, I made a mockumentary called The Boy Who Wanted to Be a Plate, right? And it was, it starred me in every single role. And it was about a boy who, like, the intro panned across my table and I was lying there with a bunch of bananas on my chest, pretending to be a plate. And there were scenes in it where I was like trying to hide myself in the plate cupboard.
And that was your least favorite, right?
That was my favorite.
Oh, it was your favorite. Oh,
you fucker. I didn't take it seriously. I had so much fun making it. Like, it did relatively well. And it was like, I know you said you were like, Mum, I hit 1,000 views and you got really excited about it. I was the opposite. Like, I didn't tell anyone I was making stuff for years. And I would try and make stuff as quietly as possible in my house so my family didn't realize what I was doing. And I remember that day I had the house to myself all day. And so that's what I chose to do with the house. Like most teenagers would throw a party, they'd have loads of girls over and drink booze. I shot a mockumentary about being a plate.
With
and I tell you what, mate,
on your chair.
I know, I would not have it any other way. And the least favorite, mate, was those animal sex videos. Like there was one about how snakes have sex, one about how giraffes have sex, there was one about snails, one about bees. It was a whole series, and weirdly it sort of paid off because I've made some good friends from it. Like I remember, do you remember Grace and Michelle? Like Grace Helbig and her friend Michelle had like a joint YouTube channel.
No, I don't.
So they basically shouted me out on this channel, and they were like two beautiful women in the States, and they were like, this guy is hilarious. He makes videos about how animals have sex. And so like I'm still in touch with Michelle. Like we're still friendly now. So there were good sides out of it, but I hated the content. I hated why I was making it, and I hated what it turned me into.
It's weird because that's how I know you. Okay, when I think Brett Ball, I think, oh, the animal sex stuff. And there was one point when
I really hope that's not common.
Dude, it's universal. That's how I want. You're saved on my phone as the animal sex guy.
You're not even saved on my phone. You're nobody. I'm joking.
But I don't know, because I've seen the messages you've sent me. Okay. But one of my favorite like memories with you is I can't remember what it was. We were out somewhere and someone was doing this video on like the best pickup lines. And I thought, okay, cool. I'm going to ask Brett, like, what's his best pickup line? And I looked at you and I said, Brett, what's your best pickup line? And without a hesitation, you said, if we were giraffes, I'd be peeing on your head right now. Do you remember that?
I don't, because my go-to pickup line was something else. So I thought it was going to be that. It's how many shoulders do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, and you put your arm around them. So I thought it was going to be that. And I'm pretty sure I did that to you in Northampton, actually. But
you probably
totally
did.
fine that it's the giraffe one.
Yeah, the Northampton thing, I was drunk for most of it. But the one thing I do remember is someone had stolen my camera and they'd gone around and they were filming videos like, oh, what do you think of Seth Jules? What do you think of Seth Jules? And you said, I heard that he has hair on his penis, but it grows into the hole, like up the tip and into the hole. And that's the only thing that I remember from you in Northampton.
Brilliant. Thank you, mate.
But like,
that is my legacy.
Oh, dude, the other thing I remember, and this is like when people ask me, like, why is this person such an idiot, or things like that. The first thing I think of is what you said in the hotel, which is because you're ugly and your parents are twins. And so, for some reason, whenever someone asks me something, my first comeback, like the first thing I think of, is you saying you're ugly and your mum's your dad, and you're ugly and your parents are twins.
Oh, so, mate, honestly, if that is my legacy within your life, I am thrilled. I'm happy that that's the footprint I've left. Thank you, mate. Thank you for being my first ever guest on this. It's been so much fun, mate. Let's when COVID's over, let's definitely like hang out. Maybe not shoot challenge videos, but definitely do something.
Dude, we can shoot challenge. We can do whatever. Have you ever played a game called New Phone Who Dis?
No.
It's like Cards Against Humanity, right? Except with text messages. And
right.
I just want to say I am sponsored by these guys. I'm just kidding. I'm not.
You're a sellout.
You basically choose a text card, and this one here says, "Saw your nipples in the frozen food section of Walmart. Didn't want to say anything because I thought it would be awkward." And so someone plays that card, and then there's a whole bunch of responses. Dude, how fun would this be to play? Here we go. Sorry, I'm texting back so late. Didn't hear my phone buzz. Was about to beat my high school. Oh, okay, that's not really that funny. But
mate, let's definitely play that. That'll be hilarious.
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
Nice one. It'll be nice for you to meet my girlfriend and me to meet yours as well, and see the van as well when you get it done.
Dude, and I want to see your house conversion.
Oh, dude, I'll do a house tour now and I'll send it over to you. But
cool,
thank you for being my guest, mate. Thanks for chatting to me and reliving that. It was so much fun. I'll speak to you soon, mate. All right.
Yeah, man. Have a good one, and thanks for having me.
Lots of love.
Peace in the Middle East.